can do with the yoga block to help to stabilize the muscles around the pelvis, around the lower back. If you have lower back pain, lower back instability, this is a good way to recruit some of those muscles. They're a little bit hard for us to create that connection from our brain to tell them what to do. I'll start with the standing one since I'm already standing right next to the block. I'm just going to take one foot onto the block, very steady, level out my other foot so that they match each other, and then I'm going to work to square my hips, square my shoulders. Good. Then I'm going to do just a little drop with my hip, and then pull it up. A little drop, and pull it up. This is a good way to work on your balance too. And you'll feel your lower belly is working in that process, and the muscles that stabilize right on either side of your lower back. Not a whole lot of movement. It's really not a very large movement, but this is like a fine-tuning kind of thing for your hips. And you can add a little bend into it if you want, so that you can go all the way down onto the floor and then hike it up. And then you would switch and do the same thing on the other side. Square everything off, hips, shoulders, a little drop so that you can feel that's uneven, and then draw it back to level. Drop it down and level it off. Now you do want to be careful if you have any kind of SI joint issues. This might be a little bit pain-provoking to you, so you definitely wouldn't want to do that if you're having an active problem in your SI joint. But so it's just a good way to work on the stability in those muscles that are a little bit hard to recruit. Okay. Now my favorite version, we'll go down onto the mat, and we're going to do a knee right on top of the block. And actually the knee is hanging off, it's really the shin that's on the block. And then I'm going to go onto my hands, or you can go onto fists if that bothers your wrists. And the same kind of idea, I'm going to lift, square my pelvis off, so that the left side and the right side are level, and then drop it down. Lift, and drop. And I'm just keeping my foot directly behind my knee. Lower a few times on this side, feeling that activation through your lower belly. Those muscles down here are really hard to connect to for a lot of people, especially as we get older. We get bad habits with our posture. We're not used to paying attention to what position our pelvis is in, especially women after they have a baby, or if you have a C-section, anything like that, we lose that connection to the lower belly. So this movement really helps with that. And we'll switch the block and do the same thing on the other side. Start with the knee on the ground and then lift it up and level it off. And you want to go really slowly with this movement, just like the standing version. It's not a big movement, but it's very specific. It's about fine-tuning those little muscles and creating that strong body awareness. What muscles do you actually need to recruit to keep your pelvis where you need it to be? Okay, now, after you do a few rounds on that side, I'll show you, we can open it up, make it a little bit more challenging by lifting, squaring up, taking that leg back. Okay, drop it back down, lower it to the mat. Lift, open back, bend, and down. Lift, back, bend, and down. Okay, now one more variation of that. I'm going to do some knee circles. And you'll feel that everything else is working really hard to create stability. Take it the opposite way, circle it back. And then bring it back, square it off, lower it down, switch and do those on the other side. Okay. Left leg back. Square, lower it down. Lift, back, square and down. lift the knee up, do some circles to the front. Really slow with that movement so that everything else has time to stabilize. Switching, circle it back. And then square it off. Lower the knee down. Good. And that is our sequence with the block to create stability around the pelvis and around